So yes, we are back on NBA 2K17, and today I'm actually doing a little bit different of a video. Today I just wanted to go over some of the young talent in the NBA right now, just because I feel like right now the NBA just has such a bright future. There are so many really young guys in the NBA who are super talented. So I wanted to make a list of the 13 best players under 24. So yes, obviously everyone in this list is under 24, and it's just so many great players that are young, and I actually left a few off this list. So before I start this off, I want to give honorable mention to a few players. Otto Porter, he's been a beast this year. He's a good young player. D'Angelo Russell, he has been injured a lot this year, but he's definitely shown some signs of having a great future in the NBA. Dennis Schroeder also, he's 23 years old. A lot of people underlook him, but yeah, he's a very talented player in the NBA. Also, Elfrid Payton, he's been pretty good for the Magic. He's a good young point guard. Jahlil Okafor also, there's a ton of good young bigs in the NBA right now, so he just fell off the list by a little bit. Ben Simmons, since he's never really played an NBA game, I felt like I'd be playing myself if I put him on this list. Aaron Gordon, also really close to getting on the list, but he just missed it. And also Steven Adams, he's been a beast, and yeah, he just really missed the list by a little bit. If he was a guard, he probably would have made it, to be honest, but there are so many good talented young bigs in the NBA right now that the future seems to be very bright for the center position. I know a few years ago it was dying down, weren't that many good centers, but now there's just so many good young bigs. So let's just get into this top 13 list. I know we've already had a ton of honorable mentions, but yeah, let's just get into this, and I actually made it into a lineup. I tried to put them in order, as you can see on the screen, but yeah, you guys will probably debate with where I put people. It's really hard because a lot of these players are on teams that aren't so good, so it's hard to really like justify how good they are, and it's hard to determine like if Andre Drummond's better than Joel Embiid, or if Nikola Jokic is better than Andre Drummond, or if Porzingis is better than both of them. So yeah, it was really hard for me to make this list. I feel like the top three, Anthony Davis is definitely the best player out of these three, but then Karl Anthony Towns and Giannis, I feel like you could switch them either or. Honestly, they're both beasts. But yeah, after that, it's kind of these three and then the rest. Like, all these guys are beasts. So obviously Anthony Davis, he's just an absolute stud. If he was on a decent team, he'd probably be one of the front runners for the MVP. And yeah, he's just been an absolute beast since he came in the league. No one really puts up the type of numbers that he does. He's already a freaking force. Hopefully the Pelicans can just surround him with the right talent, that they could finally make that next step into being a very good team and letting Anthony Davis go off in the playoffs. Next, you have Karl Anthony Towns, and there's actually a lot of Timberwolves on this list, but the Timberwolves are probably the most disappointing team in the NBA this year so far. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Cat. He had an incredible rookie year. His rookie year was absolutely legendary, and he's had a really good sophomore year. I think the start of the year, people were a bit disappointed, but he's really picked it up as of late. He was actually rewarded with the Moment of the Month card this month. So yeah, he's been an absolute beast. He has a really bright future. As you can see, he's only 21, and he's just a freaking stud. I can't wait to see him improve, and just that whole Timberwolves team in general. That team is going to be so good in a few years. Hopefully they could just mesh well together and they can get some W's. Next, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo, aka the Greek Freak, one of my favorite players in the NBA to watch. He's like literally a demigod. At 6'11", he does things that no one else in the NBA could do. Probably one of the most entertaining players in the NBA to watch. Like, he's just such a freaking beast. He literally does everything. I'm not sure if this stands, but there was a time in the NBA season where he led the Bucks in every single category, in points, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, everything, and that's just insane. He's an absolute beast, and him with Jabari Parker and a lot of other young pieces on the Bucks, that's going to be a bright team in a few years, and maybe they could sneak into the playoffs this year and make a run. Who knows? Now it gets to the part where it's really hard to judge, and after the top three, like, you could literally put any of these guys anywhere, with the exception of like Miles Turner. Like, there's some of these guys that are better than others, but other than that, like, it's really hard to rate which one's better. So yeah, next we have Joel Embiid, obviously one of the most entertaining players in the NBA to watch. He is just such a funny guy, and he's so entertaining because you could tell he's he's actually enjoying playing the game, and you could tell he actually puts his heart out on the floor and wants to win every single game. That's really nice to see, and he's super freaking talented. This dude has incredible post moves, and he's wet from three. Like, there's not many big men like him, and hopefully he could stay healthy, and it'll just be amazing to see him progress because he is such a bright young talent. He's just so fun to watch. Next, we have Andre Drummond. If he was on a better team, everyone would love him and everyone would appreciate him a lot more. He's still one of the best rebounding centers in the NBA. He just needs to really work on his post game. Like, he's super athletic, gets so many rebounds, gets a ton of blocks, but if he could get some sort of post game, he will be a force in the NBA. Right now, he's a beast, but I feel like he can get even better, and maybe they can put some talent around him to grow that team, and he needs to start making his free throws. But yeah, like 3 out of the top 5 and even more out of the top 13 are centers. Like, it's incredible how good the center position is going to become in the NBA. So many great young centers, and it's really nice to see. Next, we have Nikola Jokic, one of the most underrated players in the NBA in my opinion. He is putting up incredible numbers as of late for the Nuggets. He had a slow start to the season, but I think in the last like month or two, he's just been an absolute stud. I know he got a triple-double one game, and he's just been an absolute beast. One of the most versatile centers in the NBA. He does more things than most centers. It's just really fun to watch him play, and really underlooked player in the NBA, and he's actually super young, only 21, so he is definitely a bright piece for that Nuggets team. Now, I know I'm going to get a ton of hate for where I put him, but next we have Kristaps Porzingis. He is so fun to watch as well. 7'2" or 7'3" Latvian, man. He's a freaking beast. 7'3", as I already said. He had an amazing rookie year. He's had a decent sophomore year. I feel like he's in a pretty crappy position with Melo on his team, and him not being able to be the leader. I feel like they need to trade Melo away, in my opinion, so he could flourish. But yeah, Porzingis is a beast. He's so versatile. He could shoot the ball from the three. He could throw down on just about anybody, and really good rebounder. So it'll be interesting to see how he progresses. Next, we have Devin Booker, who I believe hit a game winner earlier this week. He's been an absolute beast. Started off rookie year, didn't really play that much, but like the second half in the last 2 months of the season, he was on fire, and I believe he started this season off a little bit cold, but he's really picked it up as of late. He's just a freaking beast. He has so many good performances. He's just a great scorer, and he's a decent rebounder and passer for the 2-guard position. Out of college, people just thought, oh, he's an incredible shooter, but no one really realized how good of a scorer he would be, and he's just been really, really good for that Suns team, and him and Bledsoe together, I feel like that could be a guard duo for the future that's going to be incredible. Really bright young talent and really fun to watch. If you guys haven't watched the Suns game, they're actually pretty entertaining. So yeah, Devin Booker is another really bright player in the NBA. Next, we have Bradley Beal, and honestly, he wasn't on the list at first. I didn't realize he's only 23. He's had a really, really good season. Finally is healthy. Him and John Wall are an incredible backcourt, and as of late, that Wizards team is as hot as any team other than the Heat. Like, they've been incredible. Him and John Wall, if they could stay together and they could keep on improving, they are going to be a guard duo that's going to be insane. But yeah, Bradley Beal, incredible shooter and a really good young player. As already stated, the numbers throughout this list is honestly just random. Not random, this is where I put them, but I don't know. I feel like I'm doubting myself even making this video right now. Like, you could change these out. Other than the top 3, the rest of them, you could change out with each other, and you guys could let me know in the comments down below what you think. But next we have Zach LaVine. It's actually really unfortunate because a few days ago he tore his ACL, and he was having a really, really good year. He was the 2-time dunk champion, and everyone thought he was just a dunker, but no, he's an incredible scorer and a really good 2-guard. So yeah, really fun to watch, super athletic, and actually a really good shooter. So Zach LaVine's a beast, and hopefully he could recover well and come back just as good, if not better. Next we have Jabari Parker, who actually tore his ACL in his rookie year, but he's came back in his sophomore year, and he's been a freaking stud, dude. Him and Giannis together are a really good duo that's going to be amazing in the future. They've lost a lot of the games as of late. I don't really know what happened. I haven't been watching as much, but yeah, he's a really, really good young player who is going to amount to be a great player player in the NBA. Like, he was the second pick in the draft only after Wiggins, but he was #1 coming out of high school, and he's always been a beast. So yeah, Jabari Parker, really good young player, and you could probably switch him out with one of these guys a little bit higher than him. Last but definitely not least, we have Miles Turner. He's another really good young big, really good shot blocker, and he has a pretty good post game. In my opinion, he just needs to stay with it, and he will keep on improving and become a dominant force. Started the season off amazing. I think he had like 35, 15, and like a few blocks. He was just an absolute beast first game of the season. But yeah, he's another player who only got a few minutes last year. Towards late in the season, he started picking up minutes, and in the playoffs, he was really good in the playoffs. But this year, he's starting, and he's actually been a really good player to go with Paul George. So yeah, Miles Turner, another really bright player, and all these guys on this list have bright futures ahead of them in the NBA, and it just gets me really excited for the future of the NBA. And guys off this list who are just a few years too old: DeMarcus Cousins, Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, Jimmy Butler, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. There's a ton of guys that I couldn't even name because they were a little bit older than 23. So yeah, there's a ton of amazing players in the NBA. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. If you guys want to see me do some gameplay with this lineup, let me know in the comments down below. I appreciate you guys showing support, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.